I didn't understand it at the time, Larry, but I think for me, I think like dedicating and really going deep into personal development and all these self-growth leadership books, like I was searching for answers, right? Like that's what I was going there for. And for me, I think these last 3.5, 4 years of me, when I discuss spirituality, like I'm a Christian, I'm a believer. I don't subscribe to a religion. I have a relationship with Christ. I have a relationship with God. And I think that's what I was hearing you say. Like you were told that you can't have a relationship, that the only way to get to God is through this institution. And obviously that was a red flag there. And that would be a red flag to me. It's like, no, like we're called here, walking with God from the Bible is that relationship. That's how I interpret it and understand that now. So I appreciate you sharing that context. And I think hopefully because we're coming from kind of two different angles and we ended up at the same point, we'll be able to get a lot out of today.
Oh, I agree completely. And like I said, to me, the fundamental problem with what I was taught was that God and I are separate. And now I'm not saying that some priest or brother or nun told me that, but I definitely left through, I had religion class, was it like every day or every other, twice a week for 12 years. I don't think I got it that wrong, right? Like, I don't think I was completely wrong in coming with that understanding. And that to me was the biggest problem. Like, that's where it just didn't resonate. And especially when you think of, God is even in that tradition, right? God is all powerful, omnipresent, omnipotent, right? If he's omnipresent, right? If he is everywhere, how can he not be in me? Right? It's not possible, right? It's impossible those things don't make sense. And as soon my hyper logical brain, as soon as I was like, wait a minute, what you're saying can't be true because you're saying two things that conflict, then I was out. I'm like, then all of this is BS, which I don't. Now, what's interesting now with a new understanding of this and coming at it really, as Annie said, through trauma and understanding things through that experience, looking back at those teachings, I'm like, holy crap, this is what they're saying too, right? So there is a lot of truth to it. The next, I'd say, like this to me, this statement, and I'm going to say this truth to me is one of the things that changed a lot for me. I believe that I am a physical manifestation of God's love on this planet at this point in time.
It's beautiful. And I don't see any holes or gaps in the statement. And even from a Christian, which what I'm going to try to do here, Larry, is as we're discussing these things for the audience's sake, because I know a vast majority of our listeners do come from a Christian worldview, is try to share this through how I'm kind of interpreting this with my understanding of Christianity now, right? Because you said that you can go back based upon where you are at today and understand what you were being taught, but it probably wasn't presented to you from the right perspective to educate a child. I can go back and read and interpret the Bible with 20 years of personal development kind of in me. And I have a great friend. His name is Josh Cachador, and he wrote a book called The Standard, Rediscovering Jesus as a Standard for Masculinity. And where he opens up the book is that the entire self-development industry has swiped from the Bible and pulled Jesus out of a lot of it. And as I'm reading these books, I was like, dude, this is so true. So when I hear you say that, it's like in Genesis, it's like God created man and woman in his image. Yes. So to hear you say you're a manifestation of God's love living in today's world, it's like, okay, boom, right there in Genesis. We're right online with the truth there.
That's how I validated it by the same thing. Going back, oh, wait a minute, I was taught that, right? I was taught that I was created in God's image. That means that and if we link it back to God is omnipresent, omnipotent, then all power I have comes from God. And I can't exist if it weren't for God because God is everywhere. So we've got three different things that all tie that's a fair statement, right?